All right, everybody, welcome back to Higurashi no Naku Koro ni. So that was an interesting tip I read. I usually don't really talk about the tips. I just like to do the main storylines. But reading that tip, I was actually thinking this earlier that this all might be smaller than we're thinking it is. It might not be like the whole village doing something. It might be one person or two people. But because that is described what's happening to Reina perfectly, right? And that explains to us. But we know for a fact that this happened with Keiichi in the first book. And there's clearly some sort of drug that Rika had in the thingy, to that made people go crazy. And I am, like I said before, I'm 99% sure that Rika is a good person and that she's trying to reset the time where everybody lives happily ever after. Unfortunately, considering Reina's problems, I don't honestly see how she can live happily ever after, but Anyways, without further ado, let us begin. Once again, before I get started, make sure to follow me on YouTube because I post up all these videos edited if need be. And I'm very much trying to get my YouTube channel getting a little bit more support because I do quite enjoy just recording, especially something like this. I know I don't respond to the chat very much, which I apologize for, but especially in this sort of thing, it's hard to respond to the chat, and I don't really want to take myself away from the story as well. So please follow me on YouTube, subscribe, all those wonderful things, and the entire series of Higurashi no Naku Koro ni is up with my beautiful voice acting. So, let's get started. I have a feeling I'm waiting for a package that I rescheduled, and I have a feeling it's going to come as soon as I start this. They were mowing the grass near the fence, which was probably a cover to monitor the surroundings. Just in case I tried to escape from school. Oh, right, I'm sorry, I forgot to do a recap. Last time, Reina fed this conspiracy theory that she got out of the notebooks, to Keiichi. Keiichi was really scared by it, but he asked Mion about it, and Mion talked about the village and how that they want more people to come in, not more people to leave because they want to make more money, which actually was very logical. And I totally believe that. And so then we saw Keiichi's perspective of things, which was completely normal. The people in the van were just gardeners. They just got lost. And then we saw Reina's point of view, and she was like, these people are following me. Oh my god, they're going to kill me. And so now she faked sick and is trying to leave school. Just in case I tried to escape from school. But they must have been thinking that would happen only after school was over. They seemed to have no idea I already noticed their plan and was trying to run away right at the very moment. I couldn't use the front gate since they'd find me. I moved behind the school building, made sure nobody was around the curry garden. Curry garden? I want a curry garden. Ran through it and dashed into the forest. I walked through the dense undergrowth, stepping on dead wood and climbing over fallen trees. After walking through the forest for a while, I came to a small road. I know many back roads in this village because of our club activities, and that knowledge finally came in handy. So what should I do now? I'm sure the girl already passed on my message to Chi-sensei. Those men must be going crazy by now, knowing I ran away. Oh, wait, I have a prediction that Keiichi is going to try and talk to her, and she's going to think that he's the enemy, and she's going to kill him. Did anyone else talk to Ryuko-san before she left school? Everybody in the class looked at each other and shook their heads. Chi-sensei looked a bit upset that Reina left school early without telling her in person. Well, yeah. Reina's been feeling sick these days. Meep. She left her bag here. What happened to her? I have a bad feeling about this. What? I think I know what's going on. I'm not sure, but I have a really bad feeling about this. She must have taken another ridiculous story seriously or something. I hope she won't do anything crazy. Oh, she's already on her way to do so. I wouldn't be... I hurried home. My father might be at his new job, or he might have gone shopping. He wasn't around when I got there. She might kill those gardeners. Now that they're on the move, I'm no longer safe in my house. They're very dangerous people. They're trained to be capable of attacking the Ministry of Construction, and they pulled off kidnapping of the grandson. Locked doors and windows don't mean anything to them. In fact, it'd be like I was hiding in a box, which they could just open to get at me. I could no longer stay at my home. It's sad and frustrating. I killed Rina and Tepe, and finally regained a peaceful life with my father. How could this happen? I remembered what Keiichi told me before. It expressed my feelings better than anything. Takano left us a huge parting gift. Why did she give me those terrifying scrapbooks? Why did she tell me the secret of the unthinkable conspiracy? She got me into this. I didn't do anything. It's Mio's fault. But who was interested in her stories? I was. Who let her continue talking? I did. I did that out of curiosity. Who let the memories of Ibaraki return and told Mio about them? I did. I depended on Mio, hoping she could somehow save me from the memories I'd been trying to forget. I shouldn't have remembered anything about that bizarre incident. If I hadn't, I wouldn't have gotten involved in an unthinkable conspiracy, and I could have just played around with my friends. But even if I didn't know about the conspiracy, it still continued behind the scenes. I would have been one member of the mob running in a panic, not knowing what's going on the day of Oyashiro-sama's revival. I would have been just swallowed up in their conspiracy. Would I be happier if I faced that day without knowing anything? Would I be happier if I struggled, knowing about it, but end up swallowed by it anyway? Ooh, that's really loud. Sorry. If I'm going to end it the same way, no matter what I do, I'll fight. Sorry, the crinkle of the plastic bag was probably really loud. Because that's how I seized my happiness before. When Rina invaded my home seducing my father, I felt like it was the end of the world. I lived on the verge of despair every day. I thought that was the worst misfortune that could befall anyone. But the way things are going, it wasn't really that bad at all. I only had 2 enemies, Mamiya Rina and Hojo Tepe. I knew my enemies, and I knew how many they were. I lured them out one by one. I attacked them in the dark. It was a very easy problem to solve. But what about this one? I don't know who my enemies are. I don't know how many or how strong. Even the people I once trusted might be my enemies. I can't possibly be sure. It's totally different from the previous problem. This might be the end of the world. This time, it really was the worst thing that could possibly happen. But is that really the case? With Rina, I felt like it was the end of the world, but I no longer think it was that bad. So this might turn out to be an easy problem to solve in the end. I might be able to laugh about it someday. I know that day will come. I know. So I shouldn't think this is the end. Let's fight. I can fight. I can still struggle. I'd eat grass and drink mud if I needed to. I'm going to bet on the 1% chance, even though it's unbelievably small. If Mio didn't leave me the scrapbooks, I wouldn't even been able to sit at the table to bet. I was lucky I received scrapbooks because they gave me the chance to choose my future. If I don't fight, they'll spread the terrible parasite and this village will face a great disaster. According to the legend, when the demons first came out of the swamp, people became demons right after being infected. And it happened while they were inside the village. These days, symptoms appear only when infected people leave the village, but that only applies to the later weak parasite. The original parasite can reenact the curse of Oyashiro-sama even when the infected are in the village. So, remember what I said at the beginning of this chapter, how I think it might be smaller than we thought it was? I really, really, really think that Takano is behind some of this. There's a few things that stick out in my mind as a little bit confusing when it comes to her. One, we know for a fact that she's the one that kills the camera guy. I don't know why I always forget his freaking name. Because of that last night that we had with Keiichi when he killed the uncle and we saw his bike in the back of her car. So we know that. Okay? And now we don't know for sure we do know that things change over timeline, but I'm assuming things that aren't in correlation with whatever Keiichi does / whatever, I guess, Reina does, don't change. They're constant factors. So that means that so we don't have any influence on Takano and the camera guy. So it has to make me believe that she's the one that does it. And I could even believe that she somehow found the thing and tested it on him or something like that. But the reason that I'm so suspicious of her is because she's the one that gave these books to Reina, or to Reina, right? If she knew how this curse passed, that would be a way to do it, by giving her these books and then getting all these thoughts in her head, you know? And the other thing that always bothers me about Takano is that her body is found in a prefecture in it says the Gifu Mountains, which they described as the people would have had to kill her right after she left Keiichi and them. And I don't see how that's possible. The timeline is so short to be able to kidnap her and burn her. And it said that just the time that she was burned doesn't make any sense to me. And she's also a doctor, or like I said, a nurse, so she could easily have gone, I don't know. Anyways, it's really quick. Anyways, that's what that. But I'm starting to think that it might be smaller than we're thinking. I actually do believe, because we've had 2 instances now that have shown us that maybe the Sonozakis aren't behind this, which is interesting and would be really cool. We have the one from the last chapter, and not get me wrong, I'm not forgiving the Sonozakis, because clearly they have torture things for bad people, or whatever their fricked up rules are. But we have the last chapter where Mion was climbing down into the well, and she said that, before Shion pushed her down, and she said that Oreo didn't know anything about that. And then we have this chapter where Mion was talking about it really casually, talking about building a highway, all good things for the village, talking about how they didn't kidnap it, and that would actually make a lot of sense. That would make a lot of sense. They may not have actually kidnapped the guy, the boy. They may have just wanted to seem strong and powerful so that no one would question them, right? But they're really, I would really actually like it if that was the way, and that it was more just one person, or possibly 2 people. So, anyways, yeah, let's continue. Okay. But there's definitely supernatural. Rika is supernatural for sure. That's what they want. They want people to prostrate themselves before that miracle, and only the people who truly worship Oyashiro-sama will be saved. I see. I know their true intention now. They're going to reenact the legend of Oyashiro-sama. After all, the villagers always say that Rika is his reincarnation. The stage is set. They're going to use the parasite as the curse. So how are they going to look like Oyashiro came down to pacify everyone? I get it. They must have some kind of medicine, a specific cure for the parasite. When they recreated the stronger form of the parasite, they found a cure for it at the same time. They're going to use this cure to save only the people who believe in Oyashiro-sama, and as a result, the village will have only fervent believers. They're going to make themselves absolute rulers of Hinamizawa. Wait, I still might be underestimating them. Are they going to carry out that horrifying act of bioterrorism only inside Hinamizawa? History proves that when their goal is to control others, people desire to spread their religion across a wide area. I'm sure they conducted research not only to bring back the primitive form of the parasite, but also overcome its weakness. Namely, that it only thrives in Hinamizawa. According to Mio's research, the parasite doesn't like its host to be far from the region. And also, all this research might be her own research. Like, to make this. Its weakness is distance. If they could extend that distance, if they could extend the area where it can live. I wonder how far along their research is. By now, the parasite might not be able to live only in Hinamizawa, but in Okonomiya as well. Or maybe even the city? Maybe the whole prefecture. It might be able to cover nearby prefectures as well. This is too serious to just call it a conspiracy. It's horrifying, and it's a scale large enough to call it a revolution. The day of revival is probably not far off. I can tell by how they killed Mio, and by the extent of their pressure they're putting on me. They're trying to get rid of the small fishbone stuck in their throat by any means, because that day's coming ever closer. I'm the only one who can stand up against their revolution. I can't trust anybody. Oh yeah, she's totally gonna kill him. I think I can trust Keiichi, but no one else. Mi's out of the question. I can't trust Rika either. Satoko and Rika stick together like super glue, so I can't trust Satoko either. I can't trust any adults. I can't trust anybody. No one's on my side. I have to stand up against them alone. The clock is ticking towards that day, and the ticking noise made me frustrated. How do I fight them? What do I do? I need time. I need a place, a safe area where I could concentrate on thinking. Fortunately, I had such an area already. My hideout at the garbage dump. Nobody ever goes there, so it's safe. Even if they found out about that place, I'm familiar with its surroundings. I know escape routes and places where I can hide. But it has a big shortcoming as a hiding place. It's not hard to imagine what that is. I don't have any stock of food there. That's why I came home. I opened one of my father's drawers and took out his cash box. The contents haven't changed since the last time I looked inside. There were many new 10,000 yen bills in the cash. Each man. I took them all. I couldn't tell how many bills were actually there, but it looked to be about 80 of them. That's about $800. There should be plenty. If I had waited them long enough to use all this money, that would mean I did pretty well. Plus, I might use it to buy someone off. You can never have too much money, especially in a situation like this. I didn't take the bank book. If they were waiting in ambush at the bank, I'd be done for. It's too risky to withdraw money at the bank. I grabbed my backpack. I took the key for my bicycle. I put everything I think would be convenient to have in the backpack. I didn't care if it got heavy. I'd choose what was necessary to carry around later at my hideout. If there ended up being something I didn't need, I could leave it there. I looked at the clock. It had been 30 minutes since I came home. stayed here too long. I rushed out of the house. I went to a small convenience store and bought as much sweet bread and canned food as I could fit in my backpack. That's not suspicious at all. An old lady was at the register, probably suffering from dementia. She showed no interest in the extraordinary amount of food I was buying. But as soon as the manager checked the sales that night, he'd find out. The idea didn't bother me. I can no longer walk around the village in daylight anyway. Wow, this is progressing fast. My backpack was full, and the cans hurt my back as I walked. But that didn't bother me either. I got to my hideout still carrying the heavy backpack. I organized the stuff I brought. It was very heavy to carry, but now I had sufficient food. The abandoned construction office still has running water, so I could get some from there. I wanted to get some vegetables, but in a situation like this, I could hardly complain. After I organized things, I took out the scrapbooks I hid here and put my brain into top gear, flipping through the pages. So now what? How am I going to stand up against this gigantic conspiracy? I needed to calm down, stay cool, but also think fast. There might not be a lot of time, so I have to hurry, but I don't know what to do. It's easy to run to school in the morning when I oversleep. It's easy because I know where I should go. But now I don't know where I should go or what I should do. Now that I come to this point, I should tell Oishi everything. It's highly likely he's an enemy. But that doesn't matter anymore. If it's true, I just declare war. But if he was on my side, he'd be my only remaining hope. I'm far too weak to stand alone against such a terrifying scale of this conspiracy poised to instill fear throughout Japan. I love how it went from Okonomiya to the city to the prefecture to Japan. I'd have to use a public phone to make the phone call. There's only one public phone in this village that stands at a place where it's hard for people to spot you. That phone booth. Is it the one where Keiichi died? It stands in the middle of nowhere where no one really comes. Many bugs gather around the light when it's dark, and it's not a pleasant place to go. But I can't think of any other public phones I can use to contact Oishi without being seen. Even though it stands in the middle of nowhere, it's still too dangerous to use in the daylight. I should wait until night and take advantage of the darkness. I heard that Oishi had been holed up in the station since Mio's murder case, so I should be able to reach him any time. I had the number for the direct line to his office, too. The sky was still bright. Even though I had no time, I still had to wait for it to get dark. Frustrated, I glared at the sunset. I should find something to do. I couldn't waste any time that I had, so there must be something. After I thought about what I could do, I found that there was something I wanted to confirm, something I've been worried about. I couldn't do anything else before it got dark anyway. Staying here doing nothing would just make me more frustrated. I made my decision and left the hideout. Reina's father paced up and down restlessly in front of his house. A bicycle appeared, its rider ringing the bell. Police officer! Here, over here! A police officer from the Hinamizawa police station had shown up. Having rushed to get there, he was breathing hard. I hope you didn't wait too long. Please, tell me what happened. I know I locked the door before I left, but when I came back, the door was left open and... He led the police officer into the house. And look, my cash box was left open in my room. Is this how you found it? You didn't touch anything. I didn't touch the cash box itself because I thought they might have left fingerprints. I did touch the contents a little just to check what was missing. And what did they take? They didn't take my bank books or personal seal, but They took the cash. They didn't take your bank books or personal seal, huh? You were lucky. Professional thieves today don't take bank books because they know how easily it is to get caught using them. This might be a professional cat burglar. Instead of taking the cash box with him, he opened it here. He has to be a pro. So how much cash was in there? I haven't counted it for a long time, but there were about 100 Ichiman yen bills. Did you tell anybody you had that much cash in here? No, I didn't, but they probably knew I kept some cash in the house. They? Who are they? Can you tell me more about them? Well, here it comes. Here's the connection. Well, it's kind of an embarrassing story. Her name is Rina Mamiya, and just then the phone rang. Excuse me, I'll go get that. Please give me a minute. He grabbed the phone. Is it Keiichi? Hello, this is the Ryugu residence. Hello. This is my Bara. Is Reina there? No, she hasn't come back from school yet. She hasn't? I'm very sorry, but I'm in the middle of something right now. Can you call back later? I'm sorry. See you. He hung up after that. Once again, I am in desperate fear for Keiichi's life. Wait, who is this? Who is this? Red? Is this Reina? I don't know who this is. Until we know who this is, I'm just going to talk in normal voice. It didn't look like anything had changed on the surface. Oh, it is Reina. Why is it red? It was pink before, so I got confused. She's checking out the holes, I think, where she buried the bodies. It was hard to find this place at all because it perfectly blends in with the surroundings. I only found this place again because I remembered there was a tree with a big lump of wood on it nearby. The spot where I buried the corpses was perfectly camouflaged as if nothing had happened. That's why at first I thought I came to the wrong place. But I could make certain once I stick a shovel in the ground. Why? Why would you even come back here or whatever? She's crazy right now. I should be able to tell right away whether this place was dug up before or not. After several false starts, I found the exact spot where I buried the corpses. But the biggest problem of all is there are no bags in there. Why? How come? Did I bury them deeper than this? No, I didn't. I remember exactly how deep I buried them. I know I didn't bury them deeper. I wasn't expecting this. I came here to check the corpses. I just wanted to kill time. I didn't want to stay in my hideout doing nothing, so I came here to check if the corpses I buried were still there. I'd make sure they were still there and I'd feel relieved. It was supposed to go like that. This was such an unexpected turn of events, I broke into a cold sweat. What's going on? What's going on? I don't need to calm down to think about what happened. Corpses can't come back to life and crawl out of the ground. Someone must have dug them out. Who and why? Did anyone happen to see us burying the corpses? Did they dig them out after we left? What if they handed them over to the police? No, it can't be. It's been quite a while since the day we buried them here. It was before the Higurashi festival. So if the police did find the corpses when Oishi contacted me, he had to know about Rina and Teppei. But he didn't tell me anything. I don't think he was hiding anything on purpose either. So that means the police don't know about Rina and Teppei yet. Then why? Why are the corpses gone? That would leave only one answer. Who knows about this place? One of us came back here, dug out the bags, and took them. The first person who comes to mind is Mion. I mean the Sonozaki family, but I can't think of why they would do that. The murder of Rina and Teppei has nothing to do with them. I'm sure they don't want to get involved either, let alone be falsely accused. They must want to stay as far away from this case as possible. Why? Why would they want to keep corpses? It's like keeping a joker, even though you'll lose if you have the joker by the end of the game. If I was me, what would I do? What would I do if I was the club president? The joker is a card you want to get rid of. At least in the game I mentioned earlier, but it becomes a powerful card in other games. What kind of game would that be? An electric shock ran through my spine. At the same time I realized it. They're one step ahead of me. The Sonozaki family got to the corpses to use them as a joker, as a wild card. They're trying to use them to sell me out to the police. The Sonozaki family's trying to kill me using their death squad, and they want to have insurance in case they fail. The thing they're afraid of the most is I might work together with the police. If they could prevent that from happening, I'd have no one. If that happens, I can no longer run away. I'd still be a fish in their ponds. They're going to use the corpses to sell me to the police for the murder of Rina and Tepe. If the police start seeing me as a suspect, they'll never listen to my story. They could have been my last hope, but this will certainly turn them against me. But I'm sure the Sonozaki family doesn't want to use their joker unless absolutely necessary. After all, Mio and Sonozaki helped bury the corpses. Plus, they don't want the police to hover around Hinamizawa when the day of revival is so close. I'm going to call Oishi tonight. I'm going to ask him for help. I'm going to tell him everything, including the things I haven't even told Keiichi. I don't know if Oishi will believe me. This is a gamble, and my chance of winning is very small. Plus, my worst enemy has the joker. The bags with the corpses. I'm impressed with Mion. That's just what I expect from our club leader. This is a battle I'm betting my life on. But to Mion, this is like a board game, taking place around Hinamizawa itself. I grinned, repeating to myself, it's just a game. I put my life on the line for every club activity we do because I don't want to suffer the punishment. This time, that's become the literal truth. There could be only one reason why they're trying so hard to drive me into a corner. It's because they're afraid of me. I assumed I was just a little girl with no power, running about in confusion. But my enemy must not be thinking that way. If they didn't think I was a threat to them, they wouldn't take risks like this to drive me into a corner. That means the scrapbooks Mio left me must be way more dangerous to them than I think they are. I see. They have a joker, but so do I. The joker I have is so deadly and powerful it can break their plot into pieces. That's why they're so eager to find me. A cornered mouse really can bite a cat. I felt my fear towards the enemy fade away all of a sudden. Just as I fear them, they fear me. So this is an evenly matched game. I don't have as bad of a hand as I thought I did. I was right to come here. I found about the card my enemy was holding. This is a big deal. I felt myself shiver with excitement. I grinned to encourage myself. I don't need to be here any longer. They know this place, they might come here. It's not safe for me to stay long. I decided to go back to my hideout. On the way back, I passed close to my house. I noticed something different right away. I hid behind a bush and looked at the front gate of my house. My father was talking to a police officer. Of course he is. You stole money. I strained to catch their conversation. Yes, she usually parks it there. My father pointed to the place where I usually parked my bicycle. Okay. Please let us know whenever your daughter comes back. Why is the police officer's name resident, by the way? It's bothering me. We'll try to find her as well. Me, you're good. Did you already play your Joker? Mian always starts a battle by attacking without hesitation and wins. It seems like the police are already after me. My chance of being able to explain the conspiracy to Oishi was already small, but this makes it even smaller. No, that's why I'm going to talk to Oishi. He sees the Sonozaki family as his enemy, and he's trying to expose everything about them before his retirement. That's why he'll be on my side. He's not going to fall for their trick. Of course, there is a very high possibility that everything was part of their trap from the beginning. It's possible he claimed the Sonozaki family was his enemy in order to make me believe that he's on my side. But their Joker's actually giving me hope. If Oishi was one of them, it would be too early to play their Joker. Oishi isn't one of them. That's why they got the Joker, so they can play it before I go to the police. No, wait. That might be a trick to make me think that way in order to make me trust Oishi. When Mion gives me two choices to choose from, it's usually better to choose the one I like without thinking too much. Mion, after all, likes to guess people's intentions in order to confuse them. So when you think about it, a choice too much, you're already in her trap. I'm going to do as planned. I'm going to call Oishi after it gets dark. If he's going to become my ally, we could talk about the future. And if he isn't, that I realized. That was what I had to think about before it got dark. I'm trying to make her get a little more crazy, like talking faster and like kind of like what Izuku does when he starts talking about heroes and he starts like going. Are you back to K? No, don't worry about calling so late. I don't get paid overtime, but I'm on duty as long as I'm here. I started the conversation with an ordinary greeting to try and gauge his reaction. There's a 50-50 chance that Oishi is one of them. If he's their pawn, he'll either lure me out somewhere so he can arrest me, or he'll ask me where the scrapbooks are. But even if he didn't, that wouldn't prove anything. It's going to be difficult to determine if he's on my side or not, and I have to tell him about the scrapbooks no matter what. My heart's beating so fast. Even if I was sure Oishi isn't their pawn, I still have to make him believe such a crazy story. And I'd have to do it over the phone. Worrying wouldn't do anything for me. This is, I know, a gamble, but I have a small chance of winning. If I didn't put my chips on the table, the game wouldn't even start. I told you a little bit of this before, but I think someone's following me. Are you sure about that? Yes. I wasn't sure before. I thought it was just my imagination, but things have changed over the past few days, and now I'm certain. What do you mean things have changed? A few cars have been following me. One of them is a white van with 4 men in it. They disguise themselves as gardeners, but they're actually attack units. Attack units? You mean the Sonozaki family's death squad? Yes, I'm pretty sure that's them. They came to my school today. I managed to escape them in time, but it was very close. But why would they do that? Do they think you're trying to sniff out their connection to Tomatake's murder? Oishi hasn't mentioned the scrapbooks yet. It sounded rather unnatural to beat around the bush like that by mentioning Tomatake's murder. But I haven't told him anything about the scrapbook. It could be a legitimate reaction. To tell you the truth, I just heard some bad news. I wanted to confirm it a little bit before I let you know, but we did promise to share new information with each other. So this is what I heard. It seems the Sonozaki Corps and Okonomi are on the move. Are you talking about the Sonozaki Corps? Yup. You might find it a bit of a shock. They ordered their greenhorns to find a certain person. A certain person? My heart stopped for a moment upon hearing that. I wonder if she can hear what she wants to hear as well. Are they? It's hard to believe, but you're the person they're looking for. They're trying to find you. I just got this information, so I don't know the reason why, but they're mentioning your name. So if you believe my story that my life is in danger? Yep. It matches with my information perfectly. Ryugu, what's going on? Do you have any idea? What they're really looking for are the scrapbooks I have. They want to know where they are, and they believe I'm hiding them. They must be thinking that and able to hide the information in the scrapbooks forever if they succeed in shutting my mouth. But I couldn't tell Oishi about that just yet. I answered his question by asking him a question. What about you, Oishi? Do you have any idea? I can't think of anything. Nope, I'm afraid I don't. It's hard to believe the Sonozaki Corps are using their resources to capture an individual like you. But it's true. It came from a reliable source. It might be the Sonozaki family who are after me. Not just the Sonozaki Corps. Well, it's very unusual for them to take action like this. They only do when one of their people runs away with the money or something like that. It's usually about some kind of trouble within the group. They've never done anything like this to an honest person like you. Well, I'm honored to be the very first one, but I need you to do something other than tell me they've never done this before. I understand, Ryugu. Please calm down. Now, if this is an actual conversation, remember that clip that we read that was about the foresters going into the area that they had just buried the bodies? If they did indeed find the bodies, those were two people that were part of the Sonozaki group, right? That owed them money. I'm pretty sure. Isn't it your turn to tell me something now? What do you mean? Like I said, the Sonozaki Corps don't take action like this often. They might be under some kind of misunderstanding, but still, it's very unusual that they would do something like this. Are you sure you have no idea? You could have gotten them confused about something without you knowing it. My guess is you sniffed around the Sonozaki family and found out a bit of secret of theirs, or they think you did. You can't lead them to mobilize like that by doing nothing. What you did must have been obvious to them. Are you sure you have no idea? Is he my ally or enemy? I still can't figure it out. This is it. Make your decision, Reina. Maybe they're after me because I have Mio's scrapbooks. Mio? Mio Takano? Her scrapbooks? What do you mean? If he was my enemy, he wouldn't be able to hide his excitement. But his voice remained steady and it didn't sound unusual when he said the word scrapbooks. Oh, well, I met Mio at the library a few days before she was murdered. We talked and got along well, so she let me borrow some of her scrapbooks in which she wrote about her studies. Scrapbooks? Her studies? Yes, Mio was studying the history of Hinamizawa. She summed up her findings in the scrapbooks. I think when they killed Mio, they found out some of her scrapbooks were missing, and she gave them to me. They're after scrapbooks? Ryugu, what in the world are you talking about? She collected all her research about Hinamizawa and its ancient past as Onigafuchi into these scrapbooks. She wrote about the origin of Oyashiro-sama's cult in them, too. The origin of the cult of Oyashiro-sama? You mean the story about the man-eating demons? Yes! In her research, she discovered a very important secret about Oyashiro-sama. The secret was extremely blasphemous for the people who worship him. I see. Those people, the most devout believers, couldn't accept the results of her research. Oishi was taking notes. I could hear him writing something while he spoke. They killed Mio, and they're trying to get her scrapbooks. They weren't sure I had them, so they followed me to find out. But I think they changed their plans yesterday. They're now trying to kill anyone they think is suspicious. I see. That doesn't sound good. I'm going to arrange a security detail for you. And let me take a look at those scrapbooks, too. I might be able to find some clues about a murder. No, I mean, they might have pawns inside the police force, so don't worry about me. I can look after myself. Same with the scrapbooks. They're going to try to destroy them, even if they were kept at the police station. You may be right. If the Sonozaki Corps is chasing after you because of an order of the head of the Sonozaki family, that means our enemy is the Sonozaki family itself. If so, I'm afraid I really can't guarantee we don't have a traitor among us. That's what I'm saying. Please don't worry about me. But I have a favor to ask you. It's very important. Go ahead. What is it? According to Mio's research, there's a horrifying conspiracy at work in the shadows of Hinamizawa, and it's about to be carried out in the near future. Conspiracy? I'm trying to think of how Oishi would respond, and I'm assuming that... Oh, don't jump here, baby girl. Miss Kitty. Oh. And I feel like it's just like somebody tolerating a rambling person. What's that about? I got tense all of a sudden. I can't see. If I tell him everything, it's going to sound like a big lie. I should leave out the bizarre sounding parts just for now. It'd actually make the story more credible. Fanatical worshippers of Oyashiro-sama are the ones behind the conspiracy. Since the Meiji era, belief in Oyashiro-sama has slowly disappeared. So they're trying to revive the majesty of Oyashiro-sama that the people of Onikafuchi once worshipped. Go on, I'm listening. I'm just writing it down. According to Mio's research, the origin of the legend of Oyashiro-sama lies in a primitive endemic disease. People feared this endemic disease and called it the curse of Oyashiro-sama. And then someone like a doctor treated this disease and was worshipped by the villagers as Oyashiro-sama himself. The village was then under his control. I see. That's interesting. Go on. The endemic disease was caused by a parasite unique to this region, but it became weaker with every generation, and now it doesn't do harm to people, as you can imagine. To them, a harmless endemic disease means no curse of Oyashiro-sama. No curse means no savior. They can't keep the sanctity of Oyashiro like that. And to revive the sanctity of Oyashiro-sama means they have to revive the endemic disease, right? That's right! They want to recreate the legend of Oyashiro-sama in order to make Oyashiro-sama a deity again. That's why they're trying to create the original parasite, because it can bring back the more powerful strain of the endemic disease. The true intention of the series of mysterious deaths was to test the results of their research. And now they finally succeeded, reenacting the maggot disease with Tomotake. It took them 5 years, but they managed to bring the parasite back to its original power. What the hell? Their goal is to spread the parasite, use the cure that they developed to save only those people who believe in Oyashiro-sama, and create for them a paradise. Are you sure it's all true? The scrapbooks say most of the residents of Hinamizawa are infected by the parasite. There's medical evidence of its existence too. I can't believe it. Damn it, that hag Oyosa's on death's door already. Yet she just can't cross the sticks on her own? This is indiscriminate terrorism. I really hope that this is her delusion. What the hell? The original parasite could only survive around Hinamizawa, but there's a high possibility that they've improved it to be able to survive in a wider area. It's going to destroy not only Hinamizawa, but also Okonomiya, or even the entire city, or the entire prefecture. Damn it. What should we do? Who's behind all this? It's the 3 families. Most likely the Sonozaki family is in charge, but I'm not sure if Oyo is the leader or not. I can only refer to them as they. I also have no idea how far this thing reaches. Do you know where they're doing all this research? I can shut it down. I don't know. It's not in the scrapbooks. Do you have any idea? Well, it must be some kind of big facility to do that kind of research. You can use a garage or remodeling guns for something like that, but when it comes to parasites, I don't think that'd be enough. Mia was a nurse at the EDA clinic. Do you think that could be it? I always thought it was a bit big and fancy for a small village like Hinamizawa. Ha! The EDA clinic. They needed a specially designed facility with advanced airtight containment, among other considerations, to be able to do research on dangerous parasites like this one. It's easy to equate suspicious research with the clinic facility, but it also sounds a little too easy and a little cliche. At first, I thought they converted part of the clinic into a secret research center, but that actually sounds a little too unrealistic. Anyway, I don't know where it is, so please find it out. Can't you just raid every suspicious place at once? As you know, we need a warrant for that kind of thing. There's a way I can get one even after doing a raid, but I'd need conclusive evidence that it was actually the research building in question in order to do that. Oh, he's a police officer. If he's going to work as a police officer, he has to follow their rules. But they're really planning bioterrorism. There has to be a reason why they killed Mio so quickly. I think the reason is because their day of arrival isn't far off. All right, I understand. I'll try and do what I can. With an unthinkable plan like this, I'd imagine it'd be difficult to keep all the Sonozaki family members on their side. I'm sure there are some who are secretly against it. I'll try to make contact with those people. Don't worry, I'm very good at things like this. Oishi laughed to try to cheer me up. I was upset with the work of the police before, but Oishi's positive reaction is very reliable. He's what you might call an outlaw. Oishi's greatest advantage to me is that he doesn't exactly play by the rules. It's very encouraging he has that kind of skill, especially since we have to act both very quickly and without conclusive evidence. The police normally investigate incidents after they've happened, but that doesn't work in this case. If this incident actually does occur, it's going to be a big disaster. Mio explored such a horrifying conspiracy. I am scared. She met with a very sad end. She was burned in the drum on the mountains of Gifu. I feel so sorry for her. Oh right, I forgot to tell you something. We found something odd about her death. Something odd? Well, at first I thought it had something to do with the case, but after hearing your conspiracy story, it's gonna sound like nothing. The Crown Lab probably just made a mistake. It's not her. It's not her. Please tell me, I want to know. We promised to tell each other everything, didn't we? I don't mean to hide it. It's just, it might sound like a silly horror story. Riga, do you remember the night of the Wanagashi? After the festival? You and four of your friends talked with Tomitake and Takano, didn't ya? Uh-huh. We just talked for a few minutes or so, I think. Well, exactly. We found Takano's dead body that night, but the crime lab in Gifu Prefecture said she'd be dead for 24 hours when she was found. But that don't make sense. If that's true, she had to be dead the night before the festival. What's that supposed to mean? Or the person who's actually dead is the real Takano and this Takano is somebody else. I'm confused. If she was found dead on the night of the Wanagashi and had been dead for 24 hours, that means... In short, it means she was already dead on the night of the Wanagashi. So the Takano whom you saw was a zombie. I got you, didn't I? Well, like I said, I think they just made a mistake. I felt my brain freezing over. Or she laughed, saying it sounded like a horror story from summer camp. But actually, the fact that Mio's time of death was off backed up her incredulous theories. How? I haven't mentioned this one to Oishi or Keiichi. If I did, they'd search out everything else I've said. That's how absolutely unbelievable this theory is. At any rate, the mismatch with the time of Mio's death means a lot. What irony. Mio came up with the theory, and she proved it correct with her own life. No, not yet. This doesn't prove anything yet. If her theory is true, it might happen again. There's no way. It can't be true. I still can't believe it. But Oishi just said it. He said Mio was already dead on the night of the festival. It means that the Mio who was walking arm in arm with Tomitake on that night wasn't Mio. Mio was already dead. So that wasn't her. That means she was... I felt a new sensation. One I'd never felt before in my life. It wasn't an ordinary kind of dread. Cat's attacking the computer. It was the fear of the truth. No fear is worse than the fear of accepting the truth you don't want to believe. compared to the fear of being stalked by the Sonozaki family or being burned alive in an oil drum looks silly. That's how deep of a fear I felt. And I felt it crawling all over my body. Ryugu, please listen to me. I understand you don't trust the police. It's true. The Sonozaki family has control over the entire city. There are some traitors at my station too, but you're in danger. You can trust me. I want you to trust me as an individual person. I can provide shelter for you if it's in a place nobody knows but me. Please trust me. I don't doubt Oishi at this point. I actually think he's very reliable. I would have said yes without a second thought, but the situation has drastically changed. If Mio's death backs up this unbelievable truth, I trust Oishi. I believe he'll find the enemy and take them down, but I'd rather protect myself on my own than let somebody else do it. If the unbelievable truth is real, then I couldn't trust anyone except myself. No, even myself might appear before me too. Oishi, thank you so much. Anyways, please find their research center and put a stop to their conspiracy. I'm going to hide somewhere for a while. I'll call you again. I noticed I'd been on the phone too long. I'd been using this phone with the light on in the middle of the darkness. In other words, I've been telling everybody I'm here. Hello? Hello? She hung up. Oishi wanted to talk more. He clicked his tongue and put the phone down. His junior, Kumagai, rushed into the room. Oishi, it's getting really bad now. The one who gave the Sonozaki Corps the order to find Reina Ryugu, it's Tatsuyoshi Kasai. See, yeah, that makes sense. See, the reason they're trying to find her is because, I forgot their names, Teppei and what's their name, had, owed the Sonozaki's money or something. Kasai? Akane Sonozaka's right-hand man? Tatsuyoshi Kasai was a pretty high-ranking big shot, even amongst the boss's younger brothers. He used to be the boss of a subordinate branch, but after suffering a bad injury during a gang war, he stepped down, and now served as the boss's aide. Akane Sonozaki relies especially on him, and as her right-hand man, he's still feared even now. When Kasai moves, other gangs consider it a declaration of war. They fear him very much. He's a warrior amongst warriors. He's been lying low these days, but he's led countless number of gang wars. He was also the leader of a professional attack squadron that went to the U.S. to receive military training during the dam conflict. They were crazy enough to think of attacking the Ministry of Construction for real. It looks like it's causing quite an uproar among our informants. They're saying that Reina Ryugu must have found some kind of information that's very inconvenient for the Sonozaki Corps. I'm impressed at how to the point our informants actually are. Still, this is getting serious. Sato-san. Hey, Sato-san! Sato's the detective in Conan. Thinks it's the tape audio in the Ministry of Construction recorded during their secret negotiations. If that's true, it's going to cause quite a few deaths. This is more serious than that, Oishi thought. If her story is true, this is a massive conspiracy. It's going to cause more than quite a few deaths. He actually believes her. It's weird that I'm on the Sonozaki's side. I mean, I know they're still bad people. I don't disagree with that, but I actually believed Mion. It might destroy the entire village or even the entire prefecture. This is going to be the biggest terrorist strike in history. Reina Ryugu is in danger. Kuma, arrange an unlocked patrol call to keep watch at her house. As of today, We're putting Reina Ryugu under protection. She's convinced she's being threatened by the gang. I'll talk to the section manager later. Actually, Reina seems to have run away from home. A police officer confirmed that a lot of money disappeared from her father's cash box. Sounds like she took it and ran away. And I also had a call about the car belonging to the Sonozaki corpse parked in front of her house too. What? Why didn't you tell me sooner? Reina Ryuga is in great danger. She wasn't calling me from her house then. We need to find her right away. Get me a car. Arrest the people parked in front of her house and get some guys over here. They're coming with me. Yes, sir. Hey, Shion. What? Reina wasn't at home? Oh, it's pretty late. Yep. I wait in front of Australian accent. Oh, I want to dig. Australian. I waited in front of her house for a while, but she didn't come home. Maybe she's at a friend's place. She might be at Sis's house with her other friends doing their club activities or whatever. I bet you anything it's completely innocent. Shion was laying down on the sofa, picturing her sister and friends fooling around and playing games like they always did. I thought so too. So I stopped by Mion's house, but Reina-san wasn't there either. Mion... Oh my god, my accents are getting messed up. Mion was worried about her too. Oh, really? Well, I wonder what happened to her. She might have been caught. Oh boy, howdy. She might have been caught by some hoodlum. That would be unusual. I already told my staff to look for her just in case. I don't think that's what happened. She's not as weak as she looks. Anyway, now I have an Irish accent. I'm sorry, Kasai's accent. Well, it's been a while since I did Kasai's voice. Alright then, Koala back. I'll have it back in that right. Anyway, why did she want to see me? Kasai took off his jacket. Shion only told him to go see Reina because... see, I told you! Because she heard that Reina had requested to see him in person. Oh, I thought I told you. She said she found something you lost. Reina wanted to give it back to you in person. I guess she likes you or something. Oh, please. Anyway, I hope she's alright. Right then, the phone rang. I told you! Oh my god, what a dumbass. If she had just waited. Kasai answered it while loosening his tie. Yeah. I understand. At once. Kasai sounded very serious, and Shion immediately figured out who he was talking to. Who was it? Was it my father? Yep. The Sonozaki family set out an order to find Reina right away and to bring her to the main house. You mean Oyo gave the order? I wonder what Reina did. Will she have to peel off her own fingernails? I hope Oyo goes easy on her. Poor girl. Alright, yeah, I'm putting the pieces together. Okay, so they found the bodies. Knows that it was Reina because Mion probably had to tell them when they found the bodies. Because, like we've seen many times, when she becomes the head of the household, she gets a lot more strict and head of the householdy. And those guys probably owed the Sonozaki's money. So. Reina hasn't come home yet? No. I heard Reina ran away from home and she's hiding somewhere. Hiding somewhere. What do you mean? Also, I just got this information. It seems the police are looking for her. What? But it also could be Mion looking for her as well. An unmarked patrol car is watching her house right now. It seems like there are several patrol cars looking at her in the village. Uncle Kimiyoshi received a call from the police too. He was told to use the town network to find out if anybody knows where she is. Do you think they found the corpses we hid? We hid them deep in the mountains. They couldn't have found them that easily. No, it's 100% impossible. I guarantee you that. Does she move them? How can you be so sure? Well, to tell you the truth. Yep. Which is exactly what happened in Keiichi's story as well. She's protecting her friends. I let the Sonozaki family take care of them. They moved their bags to a secret place. Secret place? Calm down. Don't worry about it. I heard there's a major logging project happening this summer on the mountain where we hid the corpses. So I arranged help and took care of it. I see. You know, you're really reliable when you're on my side, but you'd be very scary to have as an enemy. I recommend you never underestimate me. So it's not the corpses they're after. Then why are the police trying to find her? I don't know. But it seems like many gang members knew that Tepe and Rina were trying to blackmail the Ryukyu family. Yep. So that might be the reason why the police are after Reina. I don't think they consider her a suspect yet, but they probably want her as a material witness. That's the same thing. Damn it. Reina finally regained her peaceful life. I'm not going to let them ruin it. Mion, we need to help her. Of course. I already told my family in Okonomiya to find her before the police can. Yes, I told you. See, this right here is making me think that it's all a lot smaller than we thought it was. I already told my family in Okonomiya to find her before the police can. You can trust the Sonozaki family. They can protect her from the police, 120% guaranteed. But just finding her first isn't going to solve the problem. We have to do something to clear her of suspicion. I'll think about that after we found her. We can make as many alibis as she needs and as many witnesses for the alibis as necessary. We have very good lawyers too. We'll never abandon our friends when they're in trouble. That's right. We can save Reina. I wish I could do more than just depend on you, Mion. Well, don't worry about that. It's okay to let someone else handle the situation when that person is better at it. This old man will take care of everything. Also, I'll create an alibi to fool the cops watching the whole village. We'll say Reina was spotted near Gogura. The wider the search area, a fewer policemen in one place. I see, that's a great idea. This is like nothing to us. We did more during the dam conflict. I'll protect Reina. And Kay, Reina trusts you more than anybody, so she might come to you. If she does, please protect her. And give me a call right away. Of course. Reina's strong. She should be fine. She can overcome this. Me too. I think so too. I hesitated to say something. Reina hadn't been her normal self lately. If she was her normal self, I'd have no doubt she could overcome this. You should tell Mion. But Reina is deeply convinced that Takano's delusions are true. Reina believes the Sonozaki family is behind this conspiracy. I'm not sure if she'd trust the Sonozaki family to protect her. Don't worry, I'm her friend too. She'll understand once I sit down and talk to her. Just like Kay and I cleared up our misunderstanding, I can do that with her. I still can't believe you believe such a crazy story, though. Well, I can't believe I did either. This is going to be the most embarrassing thing ever. I really was deeply convinced until I talked to Mion. Even after the promise of friendship we made, I doubted her. Takano was endowed with magic. And I think the scrapbooks she wrote also carried a spell. The scrapbooks can make people go mad. They're forbidden scrapbooks. Nobody was supposed to read them. Reina is captivated by the power of that magic, even after Takano's death. It's interesting the way that he phrases that. It's like they have the disease or the curse or whatever in them. And if that's the case, then Takano passed it on purposely. I have to wake her up. I've got a very bad feeling about it. Oh, I'm sorry. Someone's at the door. It might be the police. I have to go. All right. I'll tell them Reina's hiding near Gogura. If they ask you something, just keep telling you don't know anything. Okay, got it. Mian waited for my answer, then hung up the phone. After she hung up, I slowly started to feel like Reina was being consumed by some huge, unthinkable fate. It's not only the police I'm worried about. I'm also worried because Reina is ensnared by the power of Takano's magic. I feel she might be suffering from incredible anxiety. Right. Reina might be hiding at her secret base in the garage dump. Reina once told me that she used to spend time there when Reina was at her house. And she told me she hid the scrapbooks there too. If she's hiding there, she must be hungry. I should bring her something to eat. Oh, okay, she's gonna die. I went to the kitchen to look for some junk food. My mother looked confused. Hey, Mom. I'm gonna go somewhere, but I'll be right back. At this time? Honey, it's late. It's really important. I promise I'll be right back. And if Reina comes here while I'm gone, let her stay in my room. And if someone calls and asks you if you know where she is, just tell them you don't and hang up, okay? My mom looked angry that I was leaving the house at such a late hour, but I rushed out before she could say anything. I grabbed a flashlight from the wall of the garage, got on my bicycle, and sped off into the darkness. The moon looked beautiful, but in a creepy way. I feel like something terrible is going to happen. I don't know what it is, but I know it's coming. Something is going to happen. The moon, seemingly knowing just what that something will be, looked like it was laughing at us, pacing back and forth in confusion. Damn it. Laugh all you want. Laugh at this funny story as much as you want. I'm not going to laugh. I'm going to fight. I'm going to smash through whatever fate is waiting for us. Reina, I hope you're there. Maybe my bicycle needs some oil? That's a weird transition. I was making some lousy noise as I pet... Damn it. Even my bicycle is laughing. You are probably right about that. We are going to stop with that tonight and pick up tomorrow.